Hola, muy buenas. Vamos a hablar aquí del restaurante. El restaurante is the restaurant. And you see on the top this phrase, buen provecho. Buen provecho is like saying enjoy. When you see two people or more, or one person eating food in general, especially at a table, in Espanol you say buen provecho because you're supposed to say that when you see two people eating. Buen provecho is really more like bon appetit in French, in francés. En francés, en español. But you're supposed to say that. So sustantivos are nouns. Nombre also is a way of saying noun, but that also means name. So we'll use sustantivos for nouns. Aperitivo y entremés both mean appetizers. You can say el aperitivo o el entremés, los aperitivos, los entremeses. Synonyms, those are synonyms. Camarero could also be camarera. This is a person. Un camarero is a waiter. And if it's a woman, she would be camarera. So waiter is el camarero. Camarera is waitress. And there are also the words mesero y mesera are synonyms. But in different countries, there are preferences. We'll say camarero. Carta is the same as menú. In English, menu. But you see menú with that accent sounds different. Menu, menú. And carta means letter, but also means menu. In un restaurante, we'll probably say more often carta. Clientes, los clientes are customers. Yes, it looks like clients, but customers is more common in English to say. El cocinero is also la cocinera, if it's a woman, the cook. El cocinero could also be la cocinera. La cuenta is a check in a restaurant, pero la cuenta really means the bill. In general in Espanol. So when you say check please in un restaurante, es la cuenta, por favor. Efectivo is not capitalized for any particular reason. It probably shouldn't be. Efectivo is cash. Nosotros sabemos que dinero is money. Dinero in general. So dinero en efectivo, cash money, or just by itself, efectivo. Las entradas, we use a French word for that too, no? Entree, which may have an accent. Las entradas is the same as plato principal, which I'll write literally is the main, principal, dish. Dish is plato. El plato principal y las entradas will mean the same thing, basically, as the main course. So first you have aperitivos, and then you eat las entradas o el plato principal. La propina is the tip, and that tip is in money, not la punta de algo. The tip that you leave for the camarero or la camarera en el restaurante, la propina. La reserva is a reservation, la reserva. Una tarjeta de crédito is a credit. Tarjeta? Card. No, credit card. So just the pronunciation, crédito. Tenedor, fork. These are three different words here. Tenedor is fork. Cuchara is spoon. Y cuchillo is knife or knife. Harder to spell in English, knife, than in Espanol. If you know that this double L is like a Y, cuchillo, it's not hard to spell in Espanol. Knife is tricky. Vaso. Vaso is a cup. Vaso de agua, vaso de leche. Taza, I would have to say like teacup, something with a handle maybe. A teacup, coffee cup. Copa, we would have to call a wine glass in English. ¿Y por qué un vaso es así? Esto es un vaso de leche o de agua. Una taza es así, with a handle. Tiene un asa al lado. There are different sizes. It could be tacita if it's really small, or tazón if it's very big. Y copa has a long stem that you don't do much with. It's just decorative and the drink goes on the top. Pues una copa es para el vino. And in ordering in a restaurant, if you ask for a copa, you're not going to get milk or probably even water. You're going to get something like wine or alcohol. Y vaso would be for water. You're not going to get wine in a taza. So vino is wine. Té is tea, just to pick a drink that would go in it in Espanol. Y agua is water. Those are the kind of drinks you would get just by saying the name of the glass. So these three types of glasses are importante in Espanol. Trying to get the zoom right. Lo siento. Lo siento. It's going to have to be this size. Okay. Buen provecho, we put on the top of this list, was like saying enjoy. So I walk in and I see these two people eating. I have to say buen provecho to them because you just do in Espanol. And it can also be que aproveche. It's the same thing, but we'll use buen provecho to be consistent. Está bueno is the same as saying está rico, is the same as saying está delicioso. So they all mean what? It is delicious. It is está, but it's not es. Es delicioso works, but not es with bueno. It would have to be está bueno. ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto is how much? And does is just a word you use for questions in English. You don't need it in Espanol. It's just how much costs it or how much does it cost. So these quotation marks mean same thing as above, how much. But instead of does it cost, how much is it when you say cuánto es? Dejar una propina is to leave a tip. Porque dejar, el verbo dejar is to leave something somewhere. Este verbo, dejar. Y propina is tip. Estar lleno, llena is to be full. Como la piñata está llena de dulces. But for a person to say I'm full this way is kind of gross. Estoy lleno. Se dice más estoy harto. Harto. Or for a woman, for a girl, estoy harta. Estoy cansado, pues estoy harto. Just is a little less gross to say estoy harto than estoy lleno. Estoy lleno sounds like I'm going to explode. Pagar en efectivo is to pay with cash. Pagar is to pay. Efectivo is cash. If you say pagar con tarjeta, then it's to pay with a card. In what card? Tarjeta de crédito, no? Tener hambre is literally, we'll write it literally, to have hunger. We say to be hungry in English, but that is tener. And tener sed is to have thirst. Sed is thirst. Con permiso, we know the phrase con permiso as excuse me when you need to get by someone physically. Excuse me. Pero también de la mesa, from the table, when you're excusing yourself from the table, that's the phrase. The number one phrase, con permiso. Con permiso. Voy a tomar. Voy a tomar is I'm going. Voy a is I'm going. You could say voy a la escuela. But tomar is to have with food, no? If you're talking about food or drink, is to have. Y voy a probar, if you substitute probar, for tomar is to try, as in to try food, not to make an effort. That's a phrase for ordering something. Ordering food. And speaking of ordering, pedir is to order. If you want to make a noun from it, requests would be like pedidos. But pedir is the verb to ask for something or to order in a restaurant. Ahora, these phrases, me das, let's put, me das una carta. Carta can mean letter, but in a restaurant it's a menu. So this is literally you give, das, the to form. Me has to come first, and then the thing you want someone to give you, una carta. Me das una carta is really like saying, would you give me a menu? It would help to say, por favor. Me das una carta, por favor. But to translate this, it's not literally would, but this is a way to explain it. Would you give me? That's what we're trying to do with this phrase. And me traes then would be, would you bring me? Would you bring me? Porque el verbo traer is to bring. You bring me. And then insert whatever you want. Me traes agua, por favor. Me traes una carta, por favor. Would you bring me? Me pones is would you put me? Which might sound strange, but literally when someone serves you and puts something in front of you, again, it's you put to me, me. That's how you ask for something to be served to you. Me gustaría is I would like. Me gusta is I like. Me gustaría is another form that literally is would now. And when you say I would like something, it's one thing is to say me gusta la pizza. Another is me gustaría la pizza. It implies that you're ordering it. No, quiero. Lo siento. Quisiera comes from quiero. Quiero is I want. But quisiera then is like saying I want, but it's more like I would like. And it's hard to explain that translation, but the reason is that it's formal. It's a form of quiero. It's like saying I want, but you're being quite polite when you use this different form of quiero. Quisiera. Quisiera. So let's make it I would like. Pásame is, pasa by itself is pass, a command. When you give a command like that, you stick the me on the end and attach it as one word. Pásame. Dame then is give me, written as one word. Dame is give me. Ponme is literally put me, but in a restaurant, would you give me, would you serve in front of me? So I'm sitting here en la mesa, estoy yo en la mesa, and I say, ponme un vaso de agua. Put it in front of me. That's how I order it. One way to order. Oiga y perdone, we say in class too. Excuse me, they're usted forms, so they're very polite. You can yell these out in a restaurant, and you're doing a good job. If you say oiga o perdone. Dar, then these verbs quickly, is to give. Dar is to give. We know that verb from la fiesta de cumpleaños. Estar is to be. Some scribbles here we should move. Los garabatos. Ser, down here on the bottom, is also to be. Remember that. They're going to be in different ways. No, estoy bien hoy. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. O yo soy el maestro. Soy un estudiante. Freír is to fry. It has a stem change, right? So if you write freír, drop the IR, make it a yo form. I have to do something else. No, turn this E into an I because it has a one-letter stem change. And it actually has an accent so that it won't look like the word cold. Frío, the adjective or the noun, el frío. So just a reminder of what that parentheses I means, stem change. Pagar is to pay. Pasar is to pass. Pedir is to ask for. But for is built into the verb. You'll never have to put for like para or por in Espanol. Pedir is stem changing. So let's see, I do the yo form, drop the IR, add o. I have to erase the C and make it pido. And that's important for that verb. So to ask for is pedir in everyday language, but in a restaurant, we would call this verb to order. You might hear people say ordenar, but that's not really the verb in Espanol. Ordenar is to organize. Poner is to put. Generally to put. No. Probar is to try, but not to make an effort. It's to try as in to sample food. Like I'm going to try the food. Querer is to want, like that. Recomendar, stem change, is to recommend, but I spelled it wrong. There's one C and two M's in English. Recommend, there's never two M's in Espanol. So you get recomiendo, stem change. Ser is to be, we did that. Servir is to serve. Again, stem change. So here's the verb servir. Drop IR. What if it were the nosotros form? Well, there would be no stem change. It would be servimos. Or the ellos form would have a stem change, except it's a one-letter stem change. Sirven. Ellos sirven. En este restaurante, la gente o ellos sirven a los clientes rápido. Tener is to have. Tomar. Tomar is to take. Y traer is to bring. But remember that tomar is like to have food. It really means to eat or drink if you're talking about food. So we should write that in there too. So all these verbs, great. All these nouns, great. A lot of phrases. The good thing about all this is that there are no interruptions. You can stop if you need to. If you have an interruption, you just pause it. But you may have questions which you can't ask. That's the bad thing. So write down a question here. Bring them to class. And I see up here I missed the word mesa because I had the two synonyms split. Mesa's table, no? So write down questions. If you want to practice these on Quizlet, you can link to Quizlet from here or go on to the class webpage and try 5 minutes a day. Quizlet or Conjuguemos if you like. And if you do Conjuguemos, send us those scores. And we'd really like to do that this time around and see what you get out of 5 minutes a day. Vale? Ya está. Adiós.